Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers, and sisters. Welcome to the Simsport Racing International Touring Car Series over here at SSRi. We hit round number 2. We go stateside for a Californian classic. We started the series 2 weeks ago at the wonderful Oulton Park. Stephen Haley claiming the initial pole, and Older Stepanovsky and Tim Fulbrook claiming both race wins. So, 2 20-minute races ahead of us, with the second one being reverse grid. And what a track we are going to experience. Laguna Seca, a fantastic circuit, and these touring cars never failing to give us some amazing action. So, how does the championship look? Let's have a look at the standings. So then it's Stephen Haley who comes away with the top honours, being second twice last time out, yet to claim the top honours, but doesn't need it right now with a 6-point lead over Matas Niger, which we believe was who Undefined Assassin was. We could not figure out who it was last time. It turns out it's Matas Niger. 28 points from being third and fourth last time out. Tim Fulbrook, as mentioned, winning race number 1. Came home 9th in the first race, so still very hot in the championship battle. Of course, we're only one round in. Of course they would be. And then a two-way fight. Older Stepanovsky, who won the opening round, along with Michael Haffenden, who had a 4th and a 5th last time on 24. Then Daniel Williams, Steve Proudly, Michael Britton, Simon Wilkes, and Jake Belcher. Kieran Vidago, who was 9th dog last time out. He was, where did he finish last time? He had a bit of a rough time. He failed to finish in the second race. Actually failed to finish in either race, looking at the list. Dave Russell is not with us this time around. A few new names as well. Adrian Softic, Craig Sweeney, James Mead, and Stephen Allen joining the ranks. A few names from last time are not here, so we have 11 cars that are going to do battle here at Laguna Seca. Qualifying is underway. Let's have a look at some on-track action, shall we? Let us find our first victim, driver, who is number 21. That is Stepanovsky. He's still got that plain colour scheme. Well, it's probably not plain to him. It's plain white to us. Currently second. It's Bridson that is top of the table at the moment. That's with 132.703 at the top of the table at the moment. Plenty of time for that to change. So it's a 20-minute qualifying session that dictates the grid for race number 1. And then for the second race, it is reverse grid from the race results of race number 1. So it's a complete reverse. 4 drivers with the time on the board. That is Martin Bridson, currently at the top of the tree with that 32.703 as mentioned. It's Older Stepanovsky, Daniel Williams, and Smash It Proudly. By his own admission, he said he might not be too lively tonight because he was broadcasting the tail end of the 24 hours the iRacing 24-hour Daytona event on the Williams esports channel. So we'll see. It's always difficult to know whether Steve is sandbagging or not. He was our sole he was the sole Honda driver last time out. All new pole time by Stepanovsky, 32.1 on the board for him. As we said, plenty of time for that to change. Some shuffling going on as we see Adrian Softic with a time on the board. There is Mr. Proudly as he's just come over the line. Did he improve? He did. 34. He improved in time. Yet to improve in position, but that pole time, of course, a moving goalpost at this stage. He is in the sole Honda, last time out. I'm not 100% sure if he's the sole Honda this time. Everybody else is on track except for James Mead. James is older. Just I say that, he's just left the pit lane. So he'll be setting a time. So it's going to be interesting because quite a few names aren't here that we saw last time out. Stephen Haley, pole man from last time out. Jumps up to second with a 32.6. So he's got himself, a little bit of a gap between himself and Martin Bridson. It's a couple of hundredths separating second and third, but it's got about half a second to find to the top spot. Glad to see some interactions on chat. Glad to have you all along with us. And whether you're watching live or post-event, you are always welcome here at SSRi in association with Grid Finder. It's a wonderful event. By all means, head over to the socials. Find the Discord, find the social pages if you want to get involved in series such as this. There's various other series going on. There's going to be a Renault Clio Cup starting on the alternate weeks that bearing in mind this is every other Sunday, the Renault Clio Cup that's going to be starting soon. It's going to be in the middle of this series. So every week, every Sunday, we will have something, and it'll be my crazy self screaming about it. So if you want your on-track antics screamed about by a crazy Englishman, by all means, head over to SSRi, get signed up, get involved, and see what is what. Well, Mr. Proudly is not the only Honda runner this time. Look at that. He's got some competition then for the pride of the Japanese mark. As we have Craig Sweeney, there he is in the number 2, who's set a time 1:34.3 on the board, sees him 7th at the moment. There's another one that is Jakub Jurasik. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Apologies if I am not. In the Audi, just crossed the line. And we are now looking at Steve Allen, currently in 9th position with a 36.8. I think it's fair to say that there is time to find there. An unusual livery on that one. I can't say I'm particularly sold on it, if I'm entirely honest, but it's a colourful livery nonetheless. Fair play to you for putting the effort in and making it just more than plain white. There we saw Adrian Softic. He's just coming up the line now. That final turn being turn 11. It's very easy to ruin your lap at that point. What did he get that time? New personal best, 1:33.5 for Mr. Softic in the Audi. Sees him right in the middle in 5th position. A couple of cars coming over the line, a couple of Hondas coming over. That was Craig Sweeney. Doesn't beat his personal best that time. 34.3, still his best. There's Jurasik. Oh, another plain white Audi. That's not going to be confusing. As I'm sure they're not white on their screen. Oh, Stephen Allen and Simon Wilkes are having some off-track excursions. Does Jurasik improve? Answer, yes. 1:33.9. Puts him up to 7th. Demotes Craig Sweeney. And James Mead has now put his name on the board in 8th position with a 34.2. There is our leader, our pole sitter, I should say, with 1:31.8 storming pace from Older Stepanovsky. As mentioned before, I've seen him race in other series, and his pace cannot be underestimated. He won the race from 4th last time out in race 1 at Oulton Park, and sadly he had a very early incident which saw him out of race 2, and he's improved on his pole time now, 31.5, 31.557. Be his new best, gives him half a second over Stephen Haley. That is Steve Proudly we're riding on board with. Oh, new sign from Agent Softic, a 33.0. Nicely done. Steve Proudly with a 33.7. His new best secures his 6th position for now. And Bridson and Allen have come back to the pits. 10 drivers now with a time on the board. Just Simon Wilkes yet to get a time on the board. So we'll see what he's capable to do as we are halfway through the session. Oh, that's bouncing over the curbs for Smash It Proudly, our lead Honda at the moment. Still the session being dominated by the Audis and the Hyundais. I mean, that wasn't exactly difficult last time, as Steve was the only Honda on the field. But he's, like we said earlier, he's got some stablemates this time in the form of Sweeney and Allen. Not sure what Simon Wilkes is in. Oh, new time for 6th. That's James Mead. 1:33.6 on the board for James Mead. Slots him into 6th position. Oh, Steve Proudly's wandered off the road. So that is Steve Haley. So our pole sitter for race 1 last time out. 2nd seems to be his thing, because he's currently in 2nd, and that's where he finished twice last time out. But 2nd certainly not in the championship table, leading the way by 6 points over the undefined assassin. It'll be Marcus Niger, who's not with us this time. Or if he's going to be, he's a bit late to the show. And we did have that last time, I seem to recall. Someone turned up very, very late. That was due in practice, though, rather than qualifying. Bridson's back in the pits, currently in 3rd with a 32.7. Still not improved. Stephen Haley working his way. So he's gone through the corkscrew, down of turn 9, down towards turn 10. Now the track is relatively smooth. No, he's come out of that one. It's smooth in parts, this circuit, but it is really, really testing. Oh, you're gone for the BWT livery there, Mr. Mead. Oh, that's striking. Now, which one of the plain Audis is that behind him? Now, is that Stepanovsky? Or, I've already forgotten who was running the second one. That's showing my age. Oh, Jurisic, thank you. Thank you to Tom, once again in charge of the cameras. No improvement there. Now, did Jurisic improve? No. That was more of an outlap from him. There is Daniel Williams in the Hyundai. Going in fifth with, what's his best? 33.2. So 34.8 last time out. What does he do this time? Up to the line. Currently fifth. He's got about 3.5 tenths to find to leap up. And that's exactly what he does. He's up to fourth with a 32.8 on the board. 32.868 to be precise. Sees him a couple of hundredths ahead of Adrian Softic. And there is Adrian Softic. Well spotted, cameraman. Does he improve? Second Audi, fifth overall at the moment. That improves in time, but not position. As a 32.9 for Softic, 300 still behind Williams. There is Craig Sweeney, currently ninth, 34.6 is, beg your pardon, that was his last time. 34.3 is qualifying time. Sees him in ninth place, ahead of Stephen Allen. Still yet to see a time from Simon Wilkes. Does Craig Sweeney improve this time? Answer. No. No time set for Craig Sweeney. So that was either an outlap or invalid. There is Pinky Mead. I'm sorry, that livery is that bright. I feel the need to refer to you as such. James Mead, sixth position, 33.6. Does he improve? Answer. He improves in time, but not position. 33.3 his time, and still remains in sixth position, closing to 4 tenths behind Adrian Softic. So Stepanovsky is back in the pits. Still time, though, as you can see in the top left of the screen. That's how long has elapsed of qualifying. Still 6 minutes to go. There's Stephen Haley with half a second to find. Now, this circuit doesn't have very many big, heavy braking zones. So it's all about momentum. And it's quite a twisty track. So maintaining that momentum is pretty tricky. So we will see if he's able to find what is quite a comparatively big gap. So we'll see. 130 lap is, finding half a second over that kind of time. Again, especially knowing how fast Stepanovsky is. In saying that, though, early on in the race one last time out, he didn't have it all his own way. He had an absolutely storming start, hustled for the lead, and then through the mistakes of others, he actually inherited it and then ran off. He just absolutely disappeared. He couldn't really prove his pace in race two. So, of course, starting from the back, he got caught up in an instant with Steve Proudly, I believe, which sadly saw Stepanovsky out of the race. But we are looking at Stephen Hay with a lovely livery on the car, lovely DMA livery. All getting a bit squiggly coming through turn 9, through the bank turn 10. Keeps the car nice and steady. Far over to the right-hand side, heavy on the anchors. Through turn 11, very easy to wander too wide. He's quite early on the gas there. Does he improve? 1:32.05 is his qualifying time. Is it improved? Answer. Improves? No, he improved on his previous time, but that's not his best. 32.3 that time around for Stephen Haley. Bridson come over the line, no improvement for you. Jakub Jurisic back in the pits. Still nothing from Simon Wilkes. He's leaving a bit late to get a time on the board. There is Craig Sweeney. I love that black Halfords livery. That is gorgeous. I make no apologies for that observation. That is a stunning car. I very highly approve. Jakub Jurisic coming back out on track. That's turn 10. We've just gone through with Craig's Honda. Final turn. It's nice and steady. Nothing wrong with that at all. And picks up a bit of toe. That's... I've forgotten who that is. Already ahead. Over the line for Sweeney. New best time of 34.2. Does not improve his position. Another couple of tenths to find to overhaul Jakub Jurasic. And Stepanovski in the plain white number 21. That camera goes really close to the door panel, oddly. Oh, well, there's no mistaking who the car belongs to, I suppose. Into the corkscrew. Really testing this particular section. It looks pretty simple from the off-board. Simon Wilkes, before I finish that sentence, leaving his lap very, very late in this session and slams in a time for fourth, a 32.7. Oh, 0.05 of a second, if that, off the back of Bridson. What a time. Very, very nicely done. Now, does Stepanovski improve on his already impressive pole time? 31.5 being the pole time. Not improved this time around. That was a 32.8 for the driver from the Czech Republic. And Steve Allen has returned back to the pits. That's Jakub Jurasic in the second of the, briefly. Yes, the cameraman is trying to find Simon Wilkes, and the camera is determined to look at scenery. That's not the cameraman's fault. That's just the way the cameras are pointing. So Simon Wilkes. That's coming up to the top of the corkscrew. Again, that's a turn right at the top of the what was essentially a mountain or a cliff that you're trying to brake and turn at the same time. Now, these front-wheel drive cars aren't too worried about it. They can handle it quite well. Rear-wheel drive cars get very uncomfortable up there. But again, with the nature of these touring cars, they're absolutely on the ragged edge all the time. So any loss of time anywhere is never going to be comfortable. Over the line then for Simon Wilkes in the remaining, what have we got, about 1.5 minutes to go. Was that an improvement? No, 33.3 that time around for Wilkes. Steve Proudly is wandered off the road somewhere. Here's Stepanovski again. Whoa, that's a long way off the road. That's an exploratory line there, Mr. Stepanovski. Determined, I'll give you that. It's not legal, I'm afraid. James Mead, or Pinky Mead, as I called him earlier. It's not a bad livery. It's just very, very, very bright. On board with the number 8, as we are coming up the hill then. That is through turn 6. It's deceptive, that corner. It tempts you to go quicker than the tyres will realistically hold. You can see the amount of dust and dirt and rubbish on the track. Over the crest, heavy on the brakes for the corkscrew. Just turn 8. 8A as the bottom part is listed. Now turn 9. It's long and slightly, well, it's very altering camber left-hander. Now with a 90-degree right, as banks in. Nicely done for the number 8. What can James Mead do here? Through the final turn. Currently 7th. 33.3. And it is... No, not an improvement. 33.7 was the time for James Mead. So a few drivers in the pits. Softic, Jurasic, Sweeney. Never mind, the session is done. And it is Stepanovski this time that is on the front row with number 24, Stephen Haley. Row 2 is Martin Bridson and Simon Wilkes. Row 3, Daniel Williams and Adrian Softic. 4 is James Mead and Steve Proudly. 5 is Jakub Jurasic and Craig Sweeney. And at the tail end of the field is Stephen Allen. Right. 11 cars ready to do battle here at Laguna Seca. As mentioned, 2 races tonight. 2 20-minute races. We have decided the grid for race number 1 as they start to form up. We'll see how they get on for race number 1. You can see then that cars will spontaneously appear, like so, on the grid. And we'll get the first of tonight's races underway as soon as everybody is readied up. And then it'll be 20 minutes of flat-out action. No pit stops needed, unless, of course, they are damaged. Just waiting on Stephen Allen then. Has he had a problem? Or is he just taking his time to return to the grid? It could be that he has some issues. He'll need time. Oh, it looks like he needs time to join us. Could be that he's had some difficulty It was a bit off the pace in qualifying. The helicopter's ready to go. Ah, there he is. He's joined the back of the grid. There's Stephen Haley's car. Right then, lights are on. It is time to get this race underway. For the first time tonight, it is time to wind them up and let them go. And now that looks like a storming start from Stepanovsky. My word, absolutely gorgeous start. Perfect for the Czech Republic driver. Haley second, soft tick up to third. Side by side, there's a blinking Mr. Mead. His distinctive livery highlighting where he is. That's soft tick up into third. Great start for him. Brisson fourth, Wilkes fifth, Williams sixth, Mead seventh. Well, Williams and Mead having an argument for seventh, but that's partly because Mead is lagging. So the tower will get a little bit confused on where he is. There he is, proudly 8th, Urasic 9, Allen up to 10th, and Sweeney has fallen to 11th already. But everybody has survived the opening melee. But look at Stepanovsky, Struth. He is absolutely gone. There's lots of three wide, well, as there always is in the early parts of the race. Bridson and Softick swapping around, Sweeney and Allen swapping around as well. Or you can see at the bottom of the shot, there's still side-by-sides going on, so they're starting to come up the hill now. That's Bridson, back up into third position. There's Williams running, wearing the same colour shirt as Bridson is. And the forever blinking pink car of James Mead. It just getting very squiggly there. Steve Proudly right there as well in case it all goes wrong. In 8th position, Urasic a little bit further behind. There he is in the second of the wide Audis. Looks like everybody survived first lap. No huge gaps going on. Steve Allen is falling a bit. Oh, look at that at the back of the shot there. That was Wilson Williams, I think. It was indeed, or Williamson. Oh no, it is Williams. I keep wanting to say Williamson because I know of a Dan Williamson. That's what. Oh, Steve Proudly went for the move. Oh, bit of an impact there, but James Mead has spun. Now, whether that was lag induced or not, but there he is. You can see the pink car at the top of the screen. He's had a big issue on the outside of the final turn. Now, I wasn't certain if there was impact between Proudly and Wilkes there, but Proudly's just lost a spot to Urasic. And there you can see Urasic at the top of the shot in the plain Audi. And there is the lagging car. So, and then he's just had to reverse to try and return to the circuit. There it is, losing huge amounts of time. What a great shame. There's Urasic's now fallen down to 10th. What's happened to him? He's was having a fairly good run, but he's now made a mistake. Is now at the tail end of the field. That's a great shame for him. And Sweeney's off track somewhere, but he's returned, so he's just wandered a bit too wide somewhere. There's Steve Allen, who's minding his own business there. Slightly further ahead, Sweeney and Proudly are very close together. Smash it Proudly. I think he's still the lead of the Hondas in 7th position. There is Sweeney trying to close in on Steve Proudly. Britson and Haley for second. You can see the gaps actually on the tower at the moment. The yellow numbers basically means they're close. And that's the current battle. And that was Stepanovsky you just saw disappearing out at the top of the shot. Now, he had a very early charge. And that seems to have kind of dissipated a little bit. So I wonder if Aldrich Stepanovsky's made a mistake somewhere. Because that doesn't look... That was nearly kind of 2 seconds at the beginning of the lap. It doesn't look like it now. As Bridson is just staying in the tyre tracks of Stephen Haley ahead. So it's Audi, Hyundai at the moment. Soft tick in 4th, doing well on his first race in the series. Fastest lap to... Is that fastest lap to Bridson or fastest lap last time around to Bridson at least? Yes, it is. Fastest lap of the race to Martin Bridson, 3rd position in the 65 car. Nicely done as they are closing in on Older Stepanovsky. There is Urasic on the back of Steve Allen again. So what mistake Urasic made, we're not entirely sure. Big move! Whoa, no! That did not go well at all. So he looked like he was just all out of shape coming into that second turn. Yes, that is actually turn 2. Steve Allen was spun round. James Mead looks like he's now going to have an argument with Urasic. Slightly out of the shot. Oh dear, Steve Allen's day is not getting any better. There is James Mead, who's already overtaken Jakub Urasic for that 9th position. So he's going to continue now on his merry way. Still lagging. That's why he keeps blinking in and out of existence. Sweeney still fairly close to Proudly. Nicely done, cameraman. Thank you for that. So he's still keeping Steve Proudly honest. And now Steve Haley's within a second of Stepanovsky. He's actually shaken off Martin Bridson up there in 2nd place. So the rest of the field kind of minding their own business at the moment. That is Stephen Haley on the back of Older Stepanovsky. So it was these two for the first race last time out. It looks like following Stepanovski's storming start, now Stephen Haley's gotten into stride, is really closing in on Stepanovski. Very, very nice. Fastest lap as well to the number 24 car. And as mentioned, is Audi versus Hyundai up front. Britson has definitely fallen off the back of the top two. There he is. There's Softic, so they could be getting into a battle. Oh, let's jump back to the battle for 7th, if we may. It's Proudly and Sweeney. There is Craig Sweeney. Really close to the back now of Steve Proudly. We just saw the roof of Simon Wilkes go out of the shot. So they are really shaping up. Again, that's got some... Craig Sweeney's car is definitely my favourite livery on the field. They all look pretty good, but that one I really... Few I like less, certainly, but that Black Halfords one, oh yes, please. I'll have some of that. So, Proudly and Sweeney, very, very close together. Haley and Stepanovski look set a little bit later on to really get a battle. Oh, look at Sweeney. Lovely back camera shot here from Proudly as he is really being piled the pressure on by Sweeney. Now, can Craig Sweeney do anything about it? He's going to need a bit of a banzai move. He's going to try it from there, which, well, we've already seen that go wrong. Now, touring cars can take a bit of nudging. They can take a bit of door banging, but either way, you don't want to be just banzaiing blindly into corners. Not to say it won't work, but it is rather dangerous. I think we've all seen how that's gone wrong. Steve Proudly will not be wanting someone breathing down the back of his neck, especially not if he's been broadcasting all night for the Daytona 24 Hours. Up front, Haley was a little quicker, about 3/10-ish quicker than Stepanovski, so that gap is continuing to drop. Britson is falling off the back of the field. Is surprisingly spread out, except for the battle for first and this battle for 7th that we're looking at the moment. Now, we didn't see Craig Sweeney last week, so I'm not sure what to expect from the Halfords liveried Honda. But at the moment, he's having a great old scrap with the storming Smash It Proudly. How many names can I give him that begin with S? Funnily enough, I asked him in the week who came up with the name Smash It Proudly, and he said I did. 90% sure I didn't, although I probably was a component in its creation. If I did come up with it, then I really am getting old and I'm forgetting my own anecdotes, which wouldn't surprise me either. Gap up front, you can see in the tower. Look at that, just 6/10 now. It's the same gap in first to second as it is 7th to 8th. There it is, nicely done, cameraman, as we sweep through the exit of the corkscrew. As Stephen Haley has very much got his eyes set on that top spot. There you can see Britson in the background. Now 3.5 seconds behind. Very much fallen off the bit. That's a bit of a shame because he was right on leader's pace for a while. And he seems to have really fallen away there. Let's have a look at the lap times this time. A 31.8 from Stepanovski, but a 31.6 from Haley, a 32.7. Again, well, 0.02 of a second difference between Britson's last lap and the one before it. So Britson maintaining consistent pace is not quite that of the leaders, but Haley and Stepanovski really, really close, as is, again, Proudly and Sweeney for 7th place. There they are. It's going to be an argument on who's got the closest battle. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I don't envy Steve Proudly at all, because he'll certainly know that the fellow Honda is right behind him. Oh, as Sweeney bounces a bit off the apex at turn 3. Sweeps through 4. I'm a big fan of this circuit. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I do really enjoy racing here. It's virtual, guys, because I've never been out to the States myself. Oh, Softic and Britson. Oh, now they're getting close together. I reckon Britson's made a mistake, because he's suddenly nearly 5 seconds behind the leaders. He's made a mistake somewhere. I didn't see him go off track, so I think he was maybe slow somewhere. That's allowed Adrian Softic to really close in. Yeah, I was about to mention the lead battle. My word. Stepanovski feeling the need to go very heavily defensive onto the inside line of the final turn. Haley tries to come back underneath, side by side over the line. Audi versus Hyundai. Czech Republic versus Great Britain. Haley on the inside, noses ahead, but can he maintain the momentum? He's going to have the inside line for turn 2. Can Stepanovski do anything about it? He knows he can't. I think he's going to have to slot in behind. He's been forced quite wide. firm but fair from Stephen Haley as Stephen now takes the lead. But what can Stepanovsky do in response? My word, the pace advantage has certainly been to Stephen Haley so far. Can he do anything about it? Simon Wilkes and Dan Williams are getting close together as well. So now the battles are starting to form. Brinson's starting to get back into his pace a bit. What was Brinson's last lap? Yeah, 33.9, whereas his best is the 32.7. So he most certainly lost time in that last lap. Look at this. Back camera from Stephen Haley staring into the face of Older Stepanovsky's car. Now, what can Stephen Haley do? He's, like we said, he's had that pace advantage so far, but is that down to the slipstream of the Audi ahead? Oh, the tail got a little lively coming into the corkscrew there from Stephen Haley's car. I'm not entirely convinced that the slipstream's all that effective here because the straights are simply not that long. And the corners are medium to high speed corners. That's the last place you want any slipstream because you're losing the downforce you're really needing to maximize those corners. So I don't reckon the slipstream's got an awful lot to do with it. Even still, Stephen Haley going to that inside line, he's feeling the need to defend anyway, despite the fact he's got nearly 8 tenths over Older Stepanovsky at this point. We'll see how that turns out. We're over the halfway stage in this race. Bridson still third. And Softic fourth. Now, Williams and Wilkes are very close together for fifth position now. There they are. The second of the plain white Audis is... Oh, beg your pardon, that's our lead battle. There's Simon Wilkes on the back of Dan Williams. So both of them in high Hyundais. That's a battle for fifth position that's formed. That's Simon Wilkes has really found his pace. Now, he sprang his qualifying lap very late. So not entirely certain what to expect as regular pace, but he said his personal best last time around of the 32.2, but Dan Williams ahead of him rather, was 7-ish tenths slower than that. So right up ahead, you just saw another pair of cars getting close together. I think that was Bridson and Softic. Didn't quite catch that as the camera. Oh, well, a bit of a different line coming through there. I wonder if someone's tail got a bit loose. Oh, side by side coming up to the corkscrew. This is going to be brave. What a run from Simon Wilkes. Struth, he had so much more momentum coming out turn 6. My word, that was a bold move. Firm but fair. In fact, there was no impact there. There was no forcing offline. What a move from Simon Wilkes for 5th place. That was fantastic. Well played, sir. 5th position then for the number 12. Will he be able to maintain that, or does Dan Williams have an answer as Stephen Allen's gone off circuit somewhere? His day going from bad to disastrous. There is Proudly and Sweeney. Whoa, Proudly wide on the exit of the final turn. Is Craig Sweeney going to be able to have a run on the inside coming through turns 1 and 2? We will see. Turn 1's here. Flat out, very non-existent left-hander. Here's turn 2. Oh, Proudly went very early for the inside line. Now, that's two different ways of taking the corner, which can yield decent results. Maximizing exit speed is not so crucial there because the run down to the next turn is very, very short from 2 to 3. So some people choose the outside line. Some people prefer to stick to the inside. As you can see, it hasn't really made any huge difference in the battling of these two, but they've just been glued. The two Hondas have been glued to one another all night. Fantastic. The gap up front is continuing to increase. Stepanovsky just does not have the pace answer to Stephen Haley so far. We all know how quickly things can change with a reverse grid race, as was proven very much last time out at Oulton Park. And Softic is just knocking on the door, isn't he? You can see when the time gap drops below a second, the time goes yellow. So you can see that he's right there. He's right on the cusp of getting within a second of Bridson. That's not going to make a huge amount of difference as far as slipstream is concerned. It's not all that effective, but it does still help a little bit. Oh, Eurosic round wide somewhere. Oh, wow. What a run on the exit of turn 10 for Craig Sweeney. But again, just could not capitalize on that. Could not get ahead of Proudly. On board then with the number 2 car as he continues to hustle Steve Proudly through turn 1 again. What can they do? He has a look in the inside line, but he opts not to make the big move. And Steve Proudly shuts that door all the same. Steve hugs the inside line And this time, Craig Sweeney follows him. We saw him take that wider line last lap, which didn't really do anything for him. And Stepanovsky's right with Stephen Haley now. Oh, now Stephen Haley must have made a mistake somewhere, or Stepanovsky's had the run of the gods. Either way, or a combination of the two, because now the plain Audi is right on the back of Stephen Haley again. So the lead battle is not concluded, as I'm convinced Stephen Haley's made a mistake somewhere, because that gap was almost over a second. And wow, look at the momentum difference through the... Oh, and Proudly and Sweeney are swapped round. Just as we looked away, Sod's Law dictates for 7th position. Sweeney has finally managed to get his way past Steve Proudly as we continue to look at the battle for the lead. And this is how it happened. Up on the run to the corkscrew, side by side. Lovely run on the inside line through turn 6 for Craig Sweeney. Firm but fair. That was a great move. And Steve Proudly not wanting to just let it go, it looks like. But hopefully, well, there it is. You can see Steve has still maintained a very, very close gap to Craig Sweeney. As the lead battle continues to rage on, Stephen Haley still ahead of Stepanovsky. Now, does Steve Proudly have an answer to Craig Sweeney? Oh, how close is that? And look at this. Now, this is very much roles reverse as Sweeney sticks very heavily to the inside line, but compromises his line through the first part of turn 2. But Proudly just not able to get a lot of momentum on the exit of that second turn. Again, trying to use that down to turn 3, unless your pursuer, unless your quali rather, makes a mistake, you're not realistically going to gain so much momentum down into turn 3, unless you're side by side. Anyway, oh, Stepanovsky and Haley are swap round. Oh, look at this, side by side for the pair of them. That's coming up into the corkscrew. And I'll try that again. Stepanovsky's back in the lead again. Well, well, well. Considering that Stephen Haley looked like he had the real pace advantage early on, unless he's burned the best out of his tyres. Oh, yeah, and just watch the tail of that Hyundai. And that's where it happened. That's the exit of turn 6 again. So it could have been that Haley had a bit of a miserable run through that corner, as well as Stepanovsky getting a great exit, and through back into the lead goes the Audi. Now, Stepanovsky could have been thinking the longer game. We did hear last week that the tyres do go off quite critically, and it's very, very difficult to hang on to the cars when they do. But Haley not losing the back of the Audi then through turn 2 once again. You can see on the tower as well, Proudly and Sweeney still very, very close together. But this is the battle for the lead. Raging on there in the background is Bridson and Softic. Not close enough to have a particular argument at the moment. Through turn 3 into 4. Now, has Stephen Haley burned the best out of his tyres, or does he have an answer? Is he just biding his time? 2.5 minutes remain of this race, and how it's flown by. Amazing stuff between these two very fast, very competitive drivers. Wow, the lap time difference as well between Proudly and Sweeney is 0.04 of a second. If that's the back shot from the driver from the Czech Republic, staring at the Brit up the hill towards the corkscrew once again. And you know that Stephen Haley's not going to let go of this one. Just needs to time his attack right. I wonder whether he's trying to time it so that Stepanovsky cannot counterattack. We will see. And Steve Allen has brought his car into the pit. So he did that a little while ago. So his race is run, unfortunately. It's not gone well for the number 49. Round the final turn. Now this will be the last lap. Oh, the Sweeney and Proudly! Proudly side by side with the Halfords black Honda, but not able to do anything about it. They're still side by side on the exit of the corkscrew. I think that was Sweeney just giving a lot of racing room. Not sure where Steve Proudly was. So ensuring he gave racing room. Very nicely done. But I think they're going to be on their last lap. Oh, Proudly nudges, or it looked like from that camera, he nudged the back of Craig Sweeney. Craig Sweeney sticking to the inside line, but that's going to compromise his exit from the final turn. Is that going to be side by side between the two? You bet it is. Steve Proudly then is going to have the inside line for turns 1 and 2. Can he get it done before turn 3? As that's going to be the crucial element for this battle. This is a battle for 7th place. Proudly moves ahead. This is exactly what happened earlier on between, well, it's happened several times between several competitors actually. So that's back up into 7th position for Steve Proudly. Nice straightforward move on the inside line of turn 3, turn 2, beg your pardon. as Steve Allen has returned to the track. Fair play. He must have had an incident where he's hit the wall. I think the checker flag is going to come out before our leaders get back round. And Softic is with Bridson, Stepanovsky and Haley are close together, and Proudly and Sweeney are having an argument. My word. Now, this is where it swapped round for them before, but Proudly and Sweeney are not side by side this time. Can Steve Proudly hang on to that top spot? But our leaders are coming around the final turn for the final time. Your winner for race number 1 is Poleman Elder Stepanovsky. What a great move. Stephen Haley, Stephen Haley chases him in second again. That seems to be his number at the moment. Bridson just fends off Softic for third. Very nicely done. Simon Wilkes a lonely fourth. Williams in fifth. And this battle rages on for seventh between Proudly and Sweeney. It is do or die, all or nothing, feast or famine. As they come through the final turn. Now Proudly just needs to get it right, and that position is his, which, wow, Sweeney pressed as hard as he could nonetheless. And that is seventh for Steve Proudly. Well driven between the two. There is James Mead. We didn't really see much of the bright pink Honda after the first few laps, but there he goes, comes home in ninth. There is Jurasik, who had his few issues as he's coming through the corkscrew now. Steve Allen has just crossed the line. He's a lap down, might be 2 laps down. So as he's been through the pits, he was in the pits for a couple of minutes, so he's definitely 1 lap down at this point. But there is Jakub Jurasik to round out the final position of this race. Wow, what a race. That was fabulous stuff. So as mentioned, because we had no retirees this time around, I thought Steve Allen had retired his car, but he hadn't. He actually returned to the track. So we will have a complete reverse grid for race number 2, and there is Jurasik crossing the line to complete the lineup. Wow-wee. That was superb. So there is the grid for race number 2. It is Steve Allen with Jakub Jurasik second. Then James Mead and Craig Sweeney take on row 2. Steve Proudly and Dan Williams, row 3. Simon Wilson, Adrian Softic, row 4. Martin Bridson and Stephen Haley, row 5. And Older Stepanovsky at the tail of the field again. Ooh, well, it didn't go well for Older Stepanovsky last time, starting at the tail end of the field. Hopefully he has a bit of a better run this time. We will, of course, see how that goes for the man from the Czech Republic. And there we go. That's the time differences between everybody. 0.7 of a second in the end between Stepanovsky and Haley. Great stuff. Of course, it says 0 points because the points are calculated after both races are done. That'll be a nice haul of points for Mr. Stepanovsky. Well, the lights are on and we return to the field. It is time for the second time tonight to wind him up and let him go. And that was a cracking start from Jurasik from the second row. Oh, my goodness. There goes Softic as well. A good start for the black and blue Honda. Whoa, very, very lively. As Steve Allen is just plummeting through the field. That was something that flew up in the air. James Mead on the inside line of Softic coming into turn 2. No impact between the two as yet. It looks like everybody's survived. Everybody is chopping around. Steve Allen's already back to the tail of the field. So a very, very cautious start for him. Haley up into 5th place. My word. What a start for Steve Haley. Side by side for Softic for the lead against James Mead. Can he hold it, or will the bright pink Hyundai manage to nail him? Coming back towards turn 6, we will see as very, very quickly. Whoa, big move there for Jurasik. That's Jurasik and Wilkes that are side by side, I think. Or maybe that's Bridson, beg your pardon, Martin Bridson. And Steve Proudly has gone through, and James Mead and Dan Williams have swapped round. Someone's round the Softic. Softic's had a mistake at turn 6. He's facing the wrong way. Oh no, there's that Proudly that's gone off. Steve Proudly's got caught up in that one. Steve Proudly in the wall. Oh, no. The lead Honda from race 1 has come a croppies. That car won't turn. It just does not want to turn out. What happened? Whoa! And Proudly caught the back of Bridson. I think that was Bridson's car that Steve Proudly bounced off of. Oops! That was Softic going wide. That's probably what caught Martin Bridson out. And Steve Proudly, he's back in the pits. He is... look at the impact for Steve Proudly. And then heavy hit into the wall. His day is absolutely done. A great shame for Steve Proudly. And there he is, his car Not looking very happy with Mead. Leads Williams, leaves Stephen Haney now up into the top spot. Wilkes 4, Bridson 5th. Stepanovsky's not had such a good run through the pack as Bridson and Wilkes now swap round. That's for 4th position coming into turn 2. Urich 6, 7, Sweeney 8, Steve Allen 9, and Softic following that incident at the tail end of the field. There is Craig Sweeney, car number 2 in the Halfords liveried Honda, on the back of Jakub Jurisic, trying to make up for lost ground, nearly pushing the Audi through turn 4. Nicely done. Oh, look at this three-way fight for the lead. Mead, Williams, and Haley. Great stuff. Sweeney and Jurisic swap round. Oh, that's a great run for Haley on the inside line on the exit of turn 5, but can't quite get it done. My goodness me, look at this. You couldn't get more colours of the palette if you tried. In this lineup, wow, fantastic stuff. 3 Hyundais leading the top spots at this point. Down the corkscrew and into turn 9 once again. Now, Stephen Haley, of course, wanting to do something about the second streak he seems to have on at the moment. All 3 races we've had in this season so far, he's had the second spot on the podium. Now, what can happen between Mead and Williams here? Well, plenty of things could happen. So far, so good. Now, Haley, he's fairly confident, unless he's got damage on the car, but he's probably fairly confident he's got the pace to make his way past those ahead of him. He just doesn't want to do anything silly and compromise his race. Bridson has the fastest lap, of course, is swapping hands, and it's now gone to Martin Bridson. Older Stepanovsky is down in 6th position, so Haley knows that his chief rival is quite some way back. Oh, and how close was that between Haley and Williams? My goodness me. Now, Stephen Haley can't afford to stay in that pack too long because Martin Bridson behind was quite, very, very much pushing hard as he wandered off the road there at turn 4. Oh, that was a look on the inside line coming into 5. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the Stepanovsky, big move on the inside of Simon Wilkes. Can't quite put it off this time. Oh, and that's Bridson off. Bridson's gone off the road again. That's on the exit of turn 5. But manages to keep his car pointing in the right direction. Stepanovsky trying to make his way past Simon Wilkes, but Wilkes did a great job of keeping the Czech ace behind him as they press on towards the corkscrew once again. The top 3 pretty much attached by an invisible rope between all 3 of them. There's Williams, really feeling the pressure from Haley at the moment. Now down the hill into turn 10. Is Haley going to banzai that one on the inside line of the final turn? Oh, he's forced to the outside line. No, he's up to stay where he is. Stepanovsky and Wilkes still close together. Softic and Jurisic close together as well as Jurisic's wandered off the road. And that's given Softic the place. That's the back camera from Williams. That is the ever-present nose of Stephen Haley. James Mead briefly had the fastest lap, but he set his personal best that time around. And look at the defensive line for Mead. So even though that Williams and Haley are battling, you still see that pink Hyundai still defending the inside lines coming through turn 2. Nicely done from Williams there. He was confident he could maintain that second position whilst defending from the championship leader of Stephen Haley. Bridson is closing in on them pretty quickly. Ooh, kick up of dust there from Dan Williams. What can he do here? Steve Proudly isn't out. He's back out on track and through. No, beg your pardon. No, that's not through at all. There was an attempt from Haley forcing Williams to that inside line. And maintain second position does Dan Williams. Stephen Haley is not only losing time against the leader, but Martin Bridson is gaining on them pretty quick. On board then with the championship leader into the corkscrew. And again, I think he's probably being cautious at this stage. I would imagine he has the pace to get past Dan Williams unless there is damage on Stephen Haley's car. Uncertain at this point, but he can't afford to hang on too long because not only is Bridson very close behind, but Stepanovsky, there he is in the clear in the white white Audi, beg your pardon. There he is. He's bearing down on Stephen Haley as well, so he can't afford to stay there too long. As Jurisic and Allen swap round as well. Steve Allen's recovered from an off-track excursion. Stepanovsky over the line. Fastest lap to Stepanovsky. Well, that's a surprise. No sarcasm there at all. Oh, that's very deep for Dan Williams, but no opportunity for Stephen Haley to capitalise. It was a bit deep into turn 2 for Dan Williams. Stephen Haley just could not get past. or opted not to. And now Bridson is within a second of Stephen Haley. Ooh, we're going to have a 4-way fight for the lead soon. Well, it could be 5-way fight if Stepanovski has anything to do with it. Again on the inside line of turn 5, but no, does not commit to it. Does that say broccoli? I can't actually see because there's glare. If that says broccoli, I'll be solely disappointed. It does! Oh, Mr. Williams, I was complimenting your driving and you dare to have broccoli on your car, sir. I am... There's broccoli on the side of the car? I haven't actually noticed that. Oh, it is! How dare you? I can't believe it's taken me this long to actually notice. Disgusted at you, sir. Oh, Haley again! Oh, was that impact between the two? I think he really had to clamp on the anchors there to prevent there being impact between the two. And there's... Oh, you're stuck between two broccolis. Because I just realised that Brinson's got the same... Oh, what a move for Haley. He got a great run on the exit of the final turn. Dan Williams really didn't. He had a very sluggish run on the exit of the final turn. And that puts a pair of broccolis in between Haley and Stepanovski now. Read into that what you will. Yes, not a fan of broccoli, in case you couldn't tell. Anyway, moving on. So James Mead leading the way, but he's going to have a very, very fight up. Stephen Haley, oh, not if he does that, though. Just touches the dust on the outside of turn 3. And well held, must be said. Stepanovski has caught the broccoli pair. And now he's going to have to find his way past now. Steve Haley was struggling to get past them. Then, as your team sponsor, I've just been told. So, okay, fair enough. So there's a replay of how it happens. It was a bit of a sluggish run on the exit of the final turn for Dan Williams, and Steve Haley just flew past. Sponsored by broccoli. What a bizarre one. Fair play. I of course, I mean no genuine criticism. Whilst I'm not a fan of the vegetable, I of course compliment the racing. I would, of course, throw the banter in there all the same. Softic on the back of Sweeney now. So Sweeney involved in another battle. It was him and Proudly last time out, but of course Steve Proudly involved in that earlier. So look at Haley wasting no time in trying to challenge James Mead for the lead. Forces James Mead to that defensive line on that inside. Whoa! Both broccoli cars have gone wide. Surely that is... surely that's an opportunity for Stepanovski to get past one of them. He's really in the tyre tracks of Bridson. And again, Mead goes to that defensive line. 3 wide right behind. Oh, my word. Could they all survive? Well, the track is wide enough. But did they all survive? Woo! No, they didn't. Oh, no. All 3 of them have gone off. And Stepanovski in the wall. Oh, my goodness me. And there's Simon Wilkes now joining the party. Oh, it's Brock Star, not Broccoli. I beg your pardon. But either way, it does say broccoli on the back of the car. And huge move, way too late on the brakes for Stepanovski, and essentially just drove through. It's like he just failed to brake. Whether he had an issue there, or what happened for Older Stepanovski, but he's recovered his car back to the pits. Oh dear, a disaster again in the second race for Older Stepanovski. Great shame for him. But look at this. So Stephen Haley leading the way. James Mead's not giving up on the chase either. That's going to be a very, very difficult person to hang on to. Stephen Haley's proven time and again how fast he is. And now his arch rival, Older Stepanovski, is nowhere to be seen. And look at the gap he's already formed. Bridson and Wilt side by side on the exit of turn 9. And wow, that was very authoritative from Martin Bridson. Swoops around the outside of Simon Wilkes. My word, that was a great run. And yet, I believe Stepanovski has opted to retire the car. As he did hit the wall pretty hard, I grant him that. So a 3-way fight then continues for the last spot on the podium, with Mead and Haley still fairly close together for the lead. Stephen Haley. Oh no! Is that going to be impact? How did you slow that down? That looks set to be impact there, Struth. That must have been a rather clinching moment for Martin Bridson. He was bearing down on his broccoli brethren, screaming into turn 2. Goodness me. I just seen that comment in chat, like driving through a Brock wall. Yes, I approve of the pun. Look at the Brock pair. Absolutely nailed together. It's not a big move on the inside line for Britson, but no, Williams fends off the advance of his teammate. Still side by side, though, in the exit of turn 5, up the hill. No team orders going on here. That's going to swoop side by side. No. Williams maintains the lead of that particular battle, as Britson probably didn't fancy it. Brocket Williams Racing. Yes. Brilliant. We'll keep the broccoli puns coming. Oh, again, look at the tail of Britson's car. Britson the broccoli monster. I'm sure there's some kind of anecdote there. Through turn 9. You're tormenting me with all the broccoli talk. It's my own fault because I'm the one bringing it up. So, oh, goodness me. This one probably will live on for quite some time. So, fair play to Simon Wilkes as well, just maintaining a fairly decent gap, although he's falling off the back of Williams and Britson. Oh, is that Stepanovsky back on track? Oh, we had this last time, didn't we? Where we thought he was on track, but he was nowhere to be found. We'll see if Stepanovsky returns. I don't think he has. I think he has actually disappeared this time. He's out getting Brockzilla. Nice. And they're not far behind is Softic. Adrian Softic is not too far off this battle. It's just under 7 minutes remaining. Look at that. Williams being pushed almost by Britson through turn 4. Look at that. I never want broccoli that close in my face. Oh, again, that seems to be his thing. Oh, no. Was there impact between himself and Williams? Oh, Williams has nudged the ball. And he cannot dig himself out of there. Oh, my goodness. Now, it didn't look like there was impact, but there may well have been. James Mead staying with Stephen Haley. Great effort there from the pink BWT's liveried car. Very nicely done, James Mead. Hopefully we'll get a replay of what happened with Dan Williams, whether that was just a panic jump out of the way or whether there was impact between the two. Oh, well, there was either netcode or I reckon that was panic. He saw the huge move there on the inside line from his teammate and just overcompensated to get out of the way of it, as there didn't look like there was impact from our perspective. Look at this. James Mead is staying in the tire tracks of Stephen Haley. And in all the exchange, Simon Wilkes now up to 3rd place, but Martin Britson, he looks set to easily dispatch of Simon Wilkes. Now, side by side, what a huge amount of momentum for Britson. But Wilkes is going to have the inside line and not just prepared to let the broccoli monster go. And there is Softic as well joining our particular party. My. After being the odd one out, he's the only non-Hyundai in that fight. Dan Williams is in the pits, so he's not retired the car. So we could well see Williams return. Steve Proudly now up into 9th, so that's why you never just blindly retire from a race. You never know what could happen. My goodness, the race is absolutely flying by. With as we enter the final quarter, 5 minutes remain. Haley leads Mead. He's given himself a bit more breathing space to the pink BWT car. Now it's Britson, Softic, and it's Wilkes, Britson, and Softic, all in this fight that we're seeing for this is the last podium spot. Simon Wilkes has it at the moment. Martin Britson wanting to broccoli his way into 3rd. I really need to stop with the broccoli comments now. And there's Softic wanting to join the party as well. Oh, now it looked like Britson was going to try and banzai the inside of turn 10. You need to do that much earlier if you're going to try that. Is he going to try and throw it on the inside of 11? Nope, he's biding his time this time. He wants the inside line for turn 2, I reckon. Oh, Simon Wilson has gone a bit wide. Back into the slipstream then for Martin Britson. It's probably the only place where... Oh, wow, talk about robust defence there from Simon Wilkes. And that, I think, a bit of a touch of the wall from Britson has allowed Softic through. So now the Audi in between the two Hyundais. Ooh, there might be a few words said about that. Oh, that's Wilkes gone wide. Softic trying to do an outside manoeuvre around turn 3. Can be done if you've got the momentum, but no. Wilkes hangs on to that one. Here comes Britson then to make a difference. My word, this battle just carries on. Dan Williams returns to the track, so he is carrying on his merry way in the number 88 car. Oh, goodness me. The Audi having a look on the inside, coming down to turn 5. Very confident move there from Softic. And Britson, whilst Wilkes was displaced, has nailed him for 4th. Oh, I thought he was going to have a go at the Audi then as well. We'll run up to turn 6, but opted, discretion of the better part of valor on that one. My word. Up to the corkscrew once again. This battle does not letting up at all. You dare not look away, because whilst you might think that the battle is all concluded, suddenly someone makes a mistake, and it is all game on once again. Softic, Bridson, Wilkes, all through turn 9. Down towards 10. Very squiggly cars yet again. The tails of these guys are getting very, very loose. Oh, is that a side-by-side coming up? He's gone. He's banzaied it. Oh, can he get that one slowed down? He can, but is Softy going to try and nail him on the undercut? He does indeed. So the Audi's back up ahead of Bridson. It was worth a try. Whether Bridson was just missed his braking point or whether he attempted to outbrake the Audi, only really he knows. It hasn't paid off though. Oh, that's really deep into turn 2 for Bridson. That's going to leave him vulnerable to attack from Wilkes. Just shut the door in time to keep Simon Wilkes behind. Just over 2 minutes remain here at Laguna Seca for race number 2. Oh, and that's wide for Wilkes. That's going to cost him momentum. Runs over the indestructible marker board. That doesn't really back him off though from Bridson. As that run is so short between turns 3 and 4. Is it a lead battle? Well, I think Haley may have backed off a little bit. James Mead has had a really solid run, but he just hasn't quite had the pace that Stephen Haley's had. I think Stephen Haley, looking at his lap time, just isn't pushing that hard, just doing what he can to bring home the win. There's been a podium every single time, and Wilkes has gone past Bridson. So Bridson's made a mistake at turn 6. I wonder whether he tried a move on Softic and it's backfired. It's forced him to the outside line of the top of the corkscrew. That's only ever going to go wrong. I think Bridson went for a move on Softic then, because look at the gap between themselves and now third place, Adrian Softic in the 18 car. My goodness me, the broccoli backfired. I will stop with the puns, I promise you. Into the final turn for the penultimate time. Struth alive, barely keep up. Actually, no, that'll be the final time. You just saw the flagman there, so the final lap here of round number 2 here at Laguna Seca. Is Bridson going to have the run? He gets such a great amount of momentum from corner exit. Does Martin Bridson? Oh, he's going to try and sweep around the outside of turn 2. Can he get it done? He wants the inside for 3 and 4. Not quite. Has Simon Wilkes managed to defend? Yes, he has. It was a bold move from Bridson, but did not pay off. And Adrian Softic is just dancing off into the distance. Says, thank you very much. You two have a fight. I'm going to claim the last step on the podium. Wow. It's not done, though, between Wilkes and Bridson. Whoa, again, he's shaping up for a move on the inside. A decent defence there from the number 12. Of Simon Wilkes. He made the defence very clear. Oh, Bridson's determined. Up the hill, turn 6, side by side, and Bridson's back ahead. Can he get that one turned in? Yes, he can. Back up into 4th for Martin Bridson. Good grief, this is absolutely fantastic stuff. Into the corkscrew once again. They're now 3 odd seconds behind Softic, so as long as Softic doesn't make a mistake in these last few corners, these positions should be decided. So your winner then for race number 2 of round number 2, and there he is car number 24. It is Stephen Haley. He's broken the run of second places. He's happy about it. James Mead, good run there in the pink BWT car. What a run for Softic. First round in the series and claims a very well-deserved 3rd. Bridson 4th. Wilkes 5th. There may well be some inter-team talking going on there. Sweeney is going to come over the line in 6th position. We didn't really see much of him when his battle ended. Jurassic in 7th place. A very lonely 7th place for the number 90 car. And there he is. Where is he? He's just come out of the corkscrew. And Stephen Allen, who's had a bit of a better run this time, but has been gifted a few positions through the misadventures of others, but that is racing. And Dan Williams and Steve Proudley have crossed the line. Williams actually managed to get back ahead of Proudley before the race was concluded. I mean, we can cut Steve Proudley a bit of slack if he was involved in the 24-hour broadcast of the Daytona 24-hour race. And there is Steve Allen across the line in 8th position. It's still a good finish. Still points on the board for his maiden round in this series. Wow. Yet again, treated to some incredible, absolutely incredible racing. And that is how they finished for round 2. Again, Older Stepanovsky just getting it all wrong. Now, it was him and Steve Proudley that tangled last time. I mean, you got to say, I think he was just a bit too heavy-handed into turn 5. Was it turn 5? No, it was turn 2, beg your pardon. Well, what a pair of races we have had. Yet again, the touring cars proving to be an excellent and highly entertaining series. Very glad I have the honor to be able to scream about it for you lovely people watching along at home. Right then, so we will give our drivers an opportunity to come and have a chat. They don't have to, it's not mandatory. But look at this. This was the start from race number 2. There's so much visiting, but such a stormy start. We had, look at that, that's Agent Softic, who started from, I just put my notes down. Softic started in 8th, and he absolutely nailed it at the start. And there he is on the outside line of the Audi. And thinking about an inside maneuver, there's James Mead in the pink BWT car. Just getting the inside line, but Softic has such a great start. Absolutely great stuff. There's Stephen Allen at the back. Look at that big punch in the face there for Steve Proudley. Bounced off of what I think was Martin Bridson. Of course, from this angle, you can't tell which one is which of the broccoli cars. Bridson started in 9th, so I'm assuming. Oh, and that's where it went wrong for Jakob Eriksson. So he started in 2nd, and then one simple mistake is where it wrong for where it went wrong for him. So there's Softic taking the lead, and we know that James Mead's got a lovely cut back underneath, just kept his head and through he went. That I think is Bridson. It's because he had a really solid start, didn't he? Then right behind, Proudly, I think. We have got, yes, we do. We thank you very much, Tom. Tom Vandermeer in charge of the cameras. Sterling job as always. And we have got our 2nd place from race 1, but race winner this time. It's Mr. Haney.
Good evening, Chris. Hello, everybody.
So it looked like you were going to continue the trend of 2nd places following your great scrap with Alder in race 1. But then, were you just biding your time behind Mr. Mead, or was he doing I mean, it looked like you was keeping pace fairly well, but judging on pace difference from race 1, it looked like you had it in hand, but you were biding your time.
Yeah, it's the first time I've raced against Mr. Mead, so I was just making sure that I didn't kind of have any mishaps and insert the front of my car into the rear of his. But yeah, it was just a measured race. It was, I think it was important to get a good start, which I think I did. I wanted to make sure that I beat Alder into the first corner, because he's very quick, as you saw in the first race. I'm not sure if he may have got a slowdown in the first race, because he was able to keep a 1 second gap or something like that anyway, until a certain point, and then I was able to catch him quite quickly. And once I got past him, it was a kind of a steady gap until I made a cock up myself.
I was going to ask, because it looked like you were really closing him in fairly consistently, and then and you build a bit of a gap, and then we next looked at you, and he's ahead of you again. So I wondered if you'd cooked your tyres.
I think I either kind of turned in too early, or I think it may have been, I think I may have turned in too early, just tagged that sausage curve a little bit on the left-hander going up the hill, and it just pushed me a little bit wide, if I remember, and I think I just touched a bit of the grass, or the gravel, should I say, and it kind of really did take too much of the speed out of me, unfortunately.
But it looked like you had a bit of a measured race for race 2, so it was you and James Mead for most of it, just kind of off into the distance, Was that the case, or was it still a case of really having to push hard, just as you said earlier, with a bit more caution, that you were unsure of racing James?
Yeah, I think you've just got to, off the 1 and 2s, the good positions to finish in. So the points make the difference. So like I say, I was, unfortunately Tim's not here today, so which is a good plus for myself and the rest of the guys, in fact. But yeah, I mean, racing with is it James? Is it James?
James Mead, yes.
Yeah. Racing with James, it was good. It was. I didn't kind of pressure him too much, I hope. But it was just steady away, I think.
So next time out, I believe is it Oran? I think it's
I think you might be right.
Yes, I believe so. It's a track I'm not so familiar with. What are your thoughts towards that one?
It's Oran Park. It's a tight and twisty track. Get my teeth in right. It's a tight and twisty track. It will be. I'm not kind of sure what car will benefit the most from it, but I could probably see that towards the back section of Oran Park, it's quite fast and up and down like a bit of a roller coaster kind of thing, I guess. But it'll certainly. I think it'll have plenty of people in the gravel, I should imagine. But I'm looking forward to it. Should be good.
Excellent stuff. Well, we are looking forward to it just as much as you, I dare say. So, as you continue your lead at the top of the championship, we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season and, of course, for next week. Thank you very much, Stephen Haley.
Cheers, Chris. See you next week.
See you next time, indeed. No one else has come forward to have a chat with us, which is absolutely fine. They don't have to. It is always nice to have a chat to our drivers, but it's not mandatory. Some of them prefer not to, which is fine. So we will wrap it up at this point. Thank you very much to those that have been with us live and post-event. We very much enjoy your company here at Simsport Racing International. Thank you very much, Tom Vandermeer, for pointing the cameras. It is always a great pleasure to work with yourself. As mentioned, it's in 2 weeks' time. It is Oran Park, and like I said, a lesser-known track in some circles, but the tight and twisty circuit is going to prove very testing for our drivers. Please do join us, same time, same place, 2 weeks' time for round number 3 of the Touring Car Championship. Until then, thank you very much, and good night.